Shauna, another disappointing result this past weekend as we lost 2-1 against Britain Faithland Sowell. Have you got any final thoughts on that game?
Probably similar to Sunday, really. It was a tough one to take, and whilst there were definitely some more positives in the game compared to the one the week before against Wrexham, it overall it's still disappointing, really. We felt that we were in control in the first half. We dominated key moments of the game, and when you do that, you expect the 3 points, and unfortunately, we just didn't have that clinical edge in front of goal, and that's what's cost us the handful of chances that Britain Ferry had. They've gone and converted them, and they've come away with the win. So it's a tough lesson yet again, and especially now that we're in phase two, every single game means so much more, and we want to continue to fight and continue to prove everyone why we deserve to be in the position that we're in. And at the moment, we're currently sitting fourth, and we're not happy about that. So, in terms of the reaction from the team, this week's been outstanding, and no doubt going into Sunday now, it definitely feels different for us that we've found our energy, our bite, and we're more than ready to go. Thankfully.
Well, it's a break from league action this weekend. Bute Energy Welsh Cup semi-final against Cardiff City. That's going to be a tough one.
Yeah, every game against Cardiff City is always tough, but I think you look at recent games against them, and these games now are a lot closer than they ever have been in previous years. So that's a massive positive for us. We've always tried to go toe to toe with them this season, and obviously in the last cup we were able to knock them out. So we know that we've got somewhat of an advantage in that sense, but then in the league they've obviously been able to beat us. So in terms of it being tight and competitive, we know that we're in for a good battle on Sunday, and the best team on the day is going to win, and we're hoping that that's us, and we can get one step closer to hands on silverware again, because the high of that journey that we went on in the Adron Trophy was outstanding, and we know what that feels like, and we want to feel it again. So regardless of the little blip that we're having and the tough journey we're having at the moment, that's in the past now and ready to move on, and we're hoping come Sunday it's going to be a good one.
Well, your side got to the semi-final of this competition last season, losing against Wrexham. What lessons can the team take from that game?
Look, we've been reaching semi-finals for a few years now, and it's an amazing achievement, and we know that even coming this far it has been tough, and any semi-final is going to be a tough battle, but what better game to go up against the current holders of the trophy. So we know how much is on the line here, and like I've referenced just a moment ago, we know what it's also like to win now. We hadn't experienced that before, but now that we have, we want to get hands on silverware again, and we want to keep fighting and showcasing to everyone why we deserve to be in the position that we're in. And for us, it's just a confidence booster. We've done it before, we can do it again, and it's just making sure everyone's of that mindset that we can continue to push on and keep defeating these teams that we've always struggled against in the past.
As the holders and current league leaders, Cardiff will be going into the game as favourites, which means most of the pressure will be on them.
Yeah, too right. And I think they're in a position where they definitely enjoy that pressure. The treble winners, and they've won the league, the cups multiple times, and rightly so. They've dominated Welsh football for numerous years now, and whilst this year's felt different, they're definitely on a good streak at the moment, and you can tell that they've definitely turned a corner. And whilst we're going through a little bit of a rough patch, it's the first time this has happened for us all season. So even when you zoom out and look at the bigger picture there, going 2 games back to back and a loss, we've not done that this season. So it's tough to take, but it's something that we can look back on and know we'll find our form again, and what better way to start that form on Sunday.
Where did success in the Bute Energy Welsh Cup rank in terms of priority before the season?
For us, it was reaching the semi-final. We sort of, for us, it was a bold target for us that we wanted to make both semi-finals. Other clubs might not see that as being bold, but where we are on our 5-year journey, that's sort of a big achievement for us. So the fact we've gone one further in one is crazy, and it's that motivation and that energy that we want now, and we don't want to get knocked out. We want to go one further yet again. So in terms of where it sits, it sits really high for us, and it means something, like it will do to the other teams that are still in the competition. But knowing who's in the other semi-final as well, and knowing that you could come up against your local derby in a final, or it could be Ponty, who are dominating the league below. Whoever will make that final, it's going to be a tough test in itself. And we've shown that we can deal with pressure. We've shown in the other final that we could come up against a big club that Swansea City and go on further. And no doubt, as long as we focus on us and execute the game plan, we'll be in a position to hopefully do that again.
Will there be any particular messages you'll be looking to get across to the players before the game?
I think for us, the big one is that it has to be a focus on us. Obviously, mood in camp has been difficult after the 2 losses, but that's in the past now, and everything's all about moving forwards and what we can go on to achieve, and what better game to start that with in terms of a semi-final at the weekend. So in terms of focusing on us, making sure we do the basics right, and try and remember what it felt like when we beat Swansea, when we beat Britain Ferry in the last semi-final, what it felt like when we knocked Cardiff out the cup. Those were big moments for us this season, and as long as we reference them, you don't need much more motivation than that to get you going. So the motivation is already there, the confidence is already there. It's now just about going and executing it.